thanks for having me. And I would say I'm an explorer and experimenter, and I've been experimenting with your energy field, with our collective energy field. I don't know if you watch me going on and off. I to the best of my integrity ability, I asked to have permission to be into your energy, into the group's energy field before. I didn't, I mean, you know, like, it is everybody's energy. We don't know specifically who is being talked about, but I must say, and I took this on as an experiment to take the opportunity to do this with this group, because I know this group is intentionally interested in raising the vibration of the planet. So I thought, what better place to look at what way to give some diagnostic information. And I have this aura imaging machine that creates a picture, and I'm going to send this around, that it creates a picture that's superimposed on the Vitruvian Man, on the Leonardo da Vinci Vitruvian Man. And I did it for the group, and you kept seeing me. I didn't want to do the printer, if you happen to be noticing that I was over here being busy. I went on and off and on and off, and I did not get a change in two things over the period of time. The colors changed some. It's very sensitive. This is a piece of German medical equipment, and it is, every place else in the world it's used for diagnostic. Doctors use it. It's a piece of medical equipment. So doctors use it to diagnose with. I work with it psychospiritually, and what I found, I could not get a change every time I did it. See, I circle something there, but it's when you have white below the head. White above the head are spirit guides, but white below the head are holes in the aura. And what I was seeing consistently, and I'll send this around, there was a hole in the aura for the spleen. And the spine, which I've circled here, is orange. And so we like to see the spine, we like everything to be green and turquoise. So you see there's lots of green and turquoise in this aura. So there's plenty of good balanced energy in this group. And I thought it was fascinating that when I'm reading the literature that comes with the material, remember how many people said they're psychotherapists? And it literally says, common with therapists and practitioners, usually related to people who listen to others but are unable to share their problems with others. So that, you know, like we have in this room all these people who listen to other people, and so what we're seeing is like the graph. I have graphs that show what's going on, and I can, like when I saw the hole, I can click on it and say what organ does that relate to, and then I look at the graph, and the graph is way high in the spleen for this group. So I'm looking at an experiment. We're going to talk about Pluto and Saturn that is coming up in January, and there's going to be a time when I do a lecture, but we're going to do just a quick thing to see if we can change this energy. I'll pass these around, and you can get a chance to, like, if you'd send that one to the back one, once you. So that what I'd like you to do is this piece of paper. Oh, so let me give you a little background. I started out as a tarot card reader some 39 years ago, because the deck that I started reading with was published in 1980, so it's pretty clear how long ago that I started with it. And I started because, you know what, we want to record that. So you're recording that, so we can go in and out and piece stuff together. I had been married to a Presbyterian minister. I really wasn't searching in the alternative places. Presbyterianism did fine for me, for my God connection. And then when that marriage ended, I started a big search, and I made some big changes. I had been a teacher, and I became a headhunter in the oil industry, and the oil industry died, and I was lost. And I then found out there was such a thing as psychics, and I went to every psychic I could possibly find to ask, and there was no internet, I had to search around to find where I could find somebody. I traveled a little bit, so I'd go to a new city and I'd go find a psychic. And one woman offered to teach me to read tarot cards, and I said, okay. I was lost. I thought they were weird, and so I started reading tarot cards. I only read them as a hobby for 5 years. I had no intention of this is what I was going to do when I grew up, and so that's, but then I fast forward, I go forward 5 years, and I got fired from a job. I had never been fired, and I was so depressed. And the only time I was happy was when I was reading tarot cards. And so I went, I guess this, I was lost and now I'm found sort of scenario went on. But the very beginning of when I decided to go be professional is this woman brought her boyfriend to my house, and it was a Sunday night, and he was going to court the next day, and he was afraid he was going to go to jail because of his wife was taking him for child support issues. And he said, am I going to jail or not? And I went, you want me to tell you what this is about? And I remain humbled by the challenges we face in life and the way people seek guidance. And so I then learned to be a numerologist and an astrologer because the more skills you have, I know we're full of counselors and everybody knows you want to do a good job, so you keep evolving what's going on. So what I'd like you to do right now is this is just when we do the workshop that I will do with Laura, who is an amazing energy worker, and we have been working, we were at Neiman Marcus, we've been various places where we do a before and after aura for individuals. So I do the aura, she does energy work, they come back and they're changed. And as Laura said, the last time when we were at Neiman Marcus, some of her clients came, and the machine picked up exactly on what her client, she didn't tell me what was going on with her clients. I sent them over I didn't know they were her clients, and I sent them over to her and said, work on such and such, and she was already working on such and such with this person. And Beverly's had an experience. Do you want to comment that?
Yeah, I experienced one of Hattie's readings in a group setting, and she did individual readings for each of us, and the vast majority of us said it was like really very, very accurate. So
what I'd like to do is see if we can close up this hole. See, this is this experimental thing about closing up the hole. And so it's like the spleen can relate to a level of exhaustion. It's a blood filter. And so I'd like you to pick a word of the words that are at the top of pick a word from the numbered words, and pick an energy that you're going to work on uplifting spirit. So then you do gratitude. If you're going to work on the emotions, you'll focus on flow. If you're looking at helping the mental process, it's on focus. And if you're talking about the physical process, because this is measuring the energy of your mental, physical, spiritual, and emotional energy. So pick two words, like you would pick courage and gratitude, or stability and flow. So pick two words. And what I would like you to do is take the middle, your middle finger, in the tip of the middle finger, and put it in the middle of your palm, and breathe in. This stimulates the diaphragm, and I want you to breathe in the word that you picked from the top. So pick one word and breathe in the word. And then go to the middle of the palm of the other side and breathe in the color that you picked. The color, the word that goes with the color. And then go back and pick the word again. And the word that goes with the color. And then let's hold up your hands like this way, if you choose to participate. And I'm going to again look and see that our combined energy, if we can be a support system to change the energy. Well, not working yet. So, okay, it's not working.
The words we were supposed to focus on is words that we are lacking and we want to increase,
or what you would,
that we feel comfortable.
that you want to contribute to the group.
Or that we want to
Contribute to the combined energy of everyone, that, so that the words are numbered, they're 9 words, for that's a complete set of energies in numerology, and then air, earth, fire, and water is a complete set of energies for spiritual, mental, emotional, and physical. I'm going to talk about what's coming up and why I think that it's so important for people in general to get a sense of supporting each other collectively. And what is coming up on January 12th, 2020 is the planet Saturn is coming together with the planet Jupiter. I heard somebody mentioning before about Vedic astrology or Western astrology. I'm talking Western astrology, and it is different. But those two bodies are going to be in a similar place, and they are both about the collective. They're in astrology. There are 5 planets that relate to the personal: the sun, the moon, Mars, Venus, and Mercury. Those are personal planets. And so when you talk about what sign am I, you're talking about who am I as an individual. And then there's some transitional planets, there's Jupiter and Saturn, that are in between the personal and the transpersonal. And then there are 3 planets that are transpersonal, which puts Pluto as the farthest one out on the scale of things. And the astronomers demoted Pluto to a planetoid. And Pluto is about everything that we don't want to talk about. I mean, it's called the Lord of the Underworld, and it relates to everything that people don't like to talk about: taxes, sex, other people's money, corruption, all of those sorts of things. So it's quite interesting that people would try to go like, let's stuff it down, let's demote it, let's try to get rid of it by demoting it. But Saturn is the planet of structure, and Saturn, when it comes along and joins Pluto, it's saying, let's look at the structure of what's going on and what needs to happen. And it is all happening in Capricorn, and Capricorn is the sign that rules big business, governments, churches, money, investments, and all of that.
So it needs to be fixed, is that what you're saying?
Pardon?
It needs to be fixed.
Yeah, so it's gonna be it's very likely a wake-up call around those kinds of issues. And I can go to the deck of tarot cards. Capricorn is in a deck of tarot cards, the Devil card. And I've got some envelopes that I can pass around. They can go around. The 5 cards that I'm talking about are all in those envelopes, so you can take a chance to look at it. And I'm sorry we don't have a screen to flash them up on, but we will manage. So Devil is not particularly a uplifting kind of idea, but it's like bedeviling. Whatever Capricorn bedevils us to say, what are you doing about whatever the issue is at hand? And right now we have, so here's Pluto in a deck of tarot cards. And Pluto in a deck of tarot cards is the angel above people standing in their coffins. There's a man, woman, and child all standing in their coffin. And the angel is going, you're not going to be here forever. What did you come to do? And then you've got Saturn that says, you came to Earth, and you came to an Earth that has the limitations of the Earth. You have to deal with what is. So how are you going to find freedom? You see, she's dancing in the middle of a wreath of containment. And what are you going to do? So we've got the two of them coming together. And already Pluto is in a sign that when you see these cards, that is saying, that card is a card of showing somebody who's got his feet on 2 pentacles. He's got his hand covering his solar plexus, and he's got one above his crown. It's like, it's time to go for protection. And Saturn is in, not that, this is 20 plus degrees of Capricorn, the protection one. Saturn is still between 10 and 20. It's not saying protection yet. And it is in a place where it's the master builder card. So we have a stock market that's master building right now, right? We've got expansion, we've got money flowing, we've got things are expanding. And then on January 12th, and actually on December 11th this year, Saturn will move into 20 degrees of Capricorn. So then both Saturn, they won't be right together, but both Saturn and Pluto will be in the protect yourself place. And the thing that Laura and I are working with in the workshop that we're in, and what I'm working with, what I'm here to work with you today, is to experiment, like haven't gotten, we have direct evidence that we can shift energy, when we work with individuals. But Saturn and Pluto are both about the collective. Pluto is the primary one about the collective because it's the outer edge of the zodiac. So it has to contain everything. It has to contain the good, the bad, and the ugly. And so that we've got a situation coming up where it will last until 2024. So that the two of them that Pluto will remain in Capricorn until 2024. And it is my conviction and hope that there are ways that it'll cause people to come together to support each other in a collective way that we will walk around the planet literally wanting to be connected to other light workers in order to raise the vibration of the planet so that we can be creating as positive an atmosphere for what is going on. Does anybody have any questions about what I'm talking about right now?
You talk about protection. I don't understand what kind of protection. Is it financial protection? Is it any other kind of protection?
That's a great question, and I will hope I can get that answered for you as we go along.